route, and Randy Moss, without even really being able to run, as he shoots the moon to the
pass, pumps to the left, 8 seconds left. He gets away from the pressure, fires to the end zone. It's caught! It's Greg Lewis! Oh my heavens! Greg Lewis's first catch has given the Minnesota. Ball's out, picked up by the Vikings. Chelsea getting ready to throw for the race. Way to go, Chelsea. No flags. Touchdown, Minnesota. Steps into it. Pass is caught. Diggs! Sideline! Touchdown! Unbelievable! Vikings win it!
4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hey, what's up, Vikings fans? Welcome back to another episode of House Calls with Skull Dog, brought to you by Minnesota Sports Talk. Joining me, as always, is Dave. Dave, how you doing, my friend?
I'm good. A little under the weather this week. I'm not gonna lie. Not a great time for it. Holidays,
Me too,
but
man. Me too.
I'm about to be a married bachelor for 6 weeks. My wife's going off to Panama with my son while I hold down the fort and make money down here. So I'm gonna be hopefully doing a lot more content than I have before, and so that's gonna be cool. But yeah, I get to watch a lot more football. Pay a lot more attention to what's going on here. By the time she's back, we'll be in the playoffs. We'll be all excited. We'll be winning. I'm all for it, man.
Yeah, it's exciting times right now. I mean, the NFC North is coming down to the wire with the Lions, the Packers, and the Vikings all kind of refusing to lose right now. I saw that this is
How lucky are the Packers?
Sorry, yeah, seriously. I actually texted my friend who's a Packers fan as soon as they muffed the punt. I was just like, this team, man, like every week it's just something. But anyways, yeah, I mean, I saw something that since the Super Bowl era, I think, started, this is the strongest a division has been. So, I mean, that's incredible, just the amount of winning that this division has done. And you look at a team like the Bears where, you know, not everything has gone their way. They fired a coordinator. They just fired their coach today. That team could easily have 3 more wins. So, and
Yep.
most of their losses are against division foes.
I do not feel bad about beating them in overtime.
No,
honestly,
the Bears are playing
they
well.
played pretty freaking tough against us.
They played tough against all 3 teams. They should have beat the Packers. They took us to overtime. And then they should have went to overtime against the Lions. That was just an all-time mismanagement there at the end of the game. You know, in my opinion, it was equally on the coach and on the quarterback. But
do you think they should have been trying to, because they were getting penalties and going back and forth? You know, they got down to like the 24, right? And they kept, another penalty to set them back, a sack, shit like that. Do you feel like they should have just tried to run it and play for the tie, or what?
I don't think they were down that far to the 24, just off the top of my head. I thought they were closer.
I think there was a penalty or something like that.
It was like a 48-yard field goal, something like that. And obviously he's had Santos has had 2 consecutive games now with blocks. So that's kind of a scary area for them. So I was fine with the decision to run a play and try to get some more yards, use that timeout. But it looks like what happened is Caleb changed the play, with a running clock, and they just ran out of time.
And Eberflus did not help the situation, even though we saw the writing on the wall when he says, I like what we did there.
Yeah, you can't double down. And that's part of why he got fired, because such a bad look. You can't double down. I know what he's trying not to throw his rookie quarterback under the bus. That's what he's trying to do. So he's trying to, take that. But he's just got to say, hey, it was my fault. Should have called the timeout there instead of doubling down.
Starts and ends with me.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But
I don't think that would have saved him either. So
Caleb Williams for the last 3 weeks has looked really good under that new offensive coordinator. And this is a really big offseason for the Bears now, because if they find the right guy, they're, the potential to be off to the races. But if they don't, and I will say it's harder than it looks to find that right guy, but if they don't find the right guy, they're kind of treading, wasting Caleb's rookie contract at least. I still think he's going to be good enough to get that second contract. The kid looks damn good, but you're fiddling around. That's the time when you can really push for Super Bowls, is with that rookie scale deal. So it's going to be tough for them. They really got to nail this hire.
Would you rather have Detroit having Johnson as their OC again, or have him be the head coach of the Bears?
As a Vikings fan, what would I rather have?
Yeah.
Neither. I'd rather Ben Johnson go somewhere else and coach.
To like Dallas or something.
Yeah. I would be concerned if Ben Johnson was Caleb Williams' coach, because I think that he's a brilliant mind. Now, sometimes these offensive coordinators become bad head coaches, and you just roll the dice and you hope that they are leaders of men.
Totally forget about the defense and
so it's the hire. Who knows? But I think that he's right up there with the most qualified candidates. And then Cliff Kingsbury is another guy who they could get prior experience with Caleb Williams. So those are two names I would watch out for in Chicago.
Yeah. I just hope it's a bad choice. That's all.
I mean,
and this is crazy how good. Now, I know people, constantly give me crap about this, but I think someone posted the other day, like the average age of snaps, and we were second oldest, and the Packers were and if you just think about math wise, I know it's not perfect, but let's just say 22 players, and we were 2 years older than the Packers, who were the youngest team.
Right.
You would have to make it. So that's 2 times 22. That's 44. And I know the math isn't perfect, but this kind of puts it out there. They have to have 9 players be 5 years older. And let's just say if 22 people had snaps, they'd have to have 9 players be 5 years older to be now older than us. And it's kind of crazy. They're going to run into some money issues with their quarterback and all that, so things will change. And we're just going to get older. They're going to get older, but still young. And so it's a little catch-22 here. I don't put all that weight into it because we do got a younger core, but it's still older than their core. It's still a really in its prime core. We're in a window now. We're in a 3-year window for sure. Let's fucking win now. Let's do it. Whatever it takes to win now.
Yeah. We were actually talking about this at the family Thanksgiving yesterday. Just kind of the future of the NFC North, and how the Bears' future is wide open. If they nail this hire, sky's the limit for them. They were skeptical of the Vikings just because it's such a question mark with JJ McCarthy. But and my point was, look at the track record of our head coach, though, Kevin O'Connell. It's like, I don't really have a concern that JJ can step in and facilitate this offense just based on his the talent that he has. Is he going to be as good as what Caleb Williams, is as a prospect? Probably not. But I think it should be good enough to win in Minnesota. And like you said, Minnesota has all of their studs under contract. They're all young at the skill positions and the most important positions like tackle. So, and then you look at the Packers, like you were just saying, extremely young team, very good team, probably not going anywhere. Yes, the quarterback contract's going to pinch them, so they better keep drafting well if they don't want to hit a wall and get kind of stuck in purgatory. And then you have the Lions, who just have a huge amount of talent and apparently a ton of cap space this year as well. So it's like, I don't know what's going on there, looking at their books, like how they have all this money, but that team just is loaded with talent. So this division is not going anywhere. It's going to be a damn good division next year too.
What, you can have a high-priced quarterback and cap space? What the fuck? I didn't know that was possible. So, anyways, hey, I'm really honestly, I am so on the Sam Darnold train right now. Just like I said when I was impressed with the way JJ McCarthy came back in his first, start or his first game as a Viking in preseason. The fact that, and I bring this up all the time, the 3 games, the month October that the Rams didn't win a game, and then O'Connell and the Rams go on to win the Super Bowl. There was a problem at the quarterback turning the ball over, and we had that, but we won those games. We won those games, which is crazy. So we actually won the 3 games that Sam Darnold was having a problem with. And what did he rebound with? a good and then a great game. I consider the Bears game a great game by him, especially leading us back so easily in overtime. And just
I actually think the Titans game was a great game too. I think he's had back-to-back great games. I think
Yeah.
that his highest ever graded PFF game was that Titans game. I haven't heard that about the Bears game. I would guess it's right up there, honestly.
I think it was more dramatic to it. So it makes me feel a little bit better about it.
Yeah, I hear you. I saw a tweet today that said something like, if Sam Darnold has one more game with a 100 plus quarterback rating, that he will join Brett Favre and one other quarterback, I forget who it was, as the only quarterbacks to ever have 10 plus games with a 100 plus quarterback rating in a season. So he's playing great ball. And Kirk was not the other guy, by the way. I don't remember who it was other than Favre.
Well, he's been close, but yeah, I don't imagine.
You know, the thing with Kirk is that he had his good games, and then he had games where it's just like, where were you? You know, just have his down game here and there.
Agree. And Sam had 3 in a row. It's like, wow.
I really thought it was going to be much more of a roller coaster with Sam Darnold, and it hasn't been that as much. Like the turnovers, yes, we saw like some spike in turnovers.
Yeah.
But the lows haven't been like, oh my God, he just lost you the game.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's been a tale of two halves type thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we had that with Kirk too. You had that with KOC basically. You know, it's been a KOC thing. It could be. I like how we have adjusted at halftime and have come back. It hasn't been the same middle of the game problem like it always was in the last 2 years. It's been a half, and then the second half we've been stellar, or it's the first half against the Packers, back half was bad. It's a different spots. It's things like that. I'm not gonna lie, special teams, right, just not doing it for me right now. It's a good holder. He's a good holder. But I think that Bear saving him on another bad punt was great for us, but I wouldn't give him credit for that. I'm kind of wanting to move on, but yeah, he just hasn't done it for me. I love Romo. It's sad that we can't have both kickers back, because Romo's
probably
been impressing me too.
He'll probably go to the practice squad, I would imagine. He's been pretty good.
Someone's got to pick him up, right?
Well,
this year he'd go to practice squad, but at some point someone's going to give him up. He's earned it, I think.
Yeah. I mean, Reichard's the man, so you got to go back to that kid.
You drafted Reichard, you got to go with him, but it's nice that we'll have that, Romo, hey, keep an eye on him. But, some shout outs. I mean, Justin Jefferson changes the weather. I didn't think he had a bad game.
No.
He just was triple team the whole freaking time.
Yeah, man. You look at some of those 2020, the 22.
All-22.
The All-22 film that came out, and you saw the Bears literally had like a triangle defense on him. They had like 3 bodies on him.
And then over here is a wide open receiver, right?
And you got to be careful with Jalen Johnson covering you. He kind of likes to sag off and pick, like if he's got like the flat route, he'll sag off and try to pick you if you try to throw the sail over him. So, and that's kind of what happened on that. Who scored the touchdown? I forget his name. He's Speedy. What's Speedy's Naylor? Yeah. So Naylor had that short one in the flat that he caught Jalen Johnson cheating a little bit, sagging off, and most likely, he did step out of bounds, but I guess it wasn't conclusive to turn it back. Yeah. But I mean, that's just a good example of Justin Jefferson taking
How dumb
up
is that
all
NFL
these
rule
bodies.
that you cannot use the boundary camera?
So dumb.
Because not all teams have one.
So dumb.
That is
$1 billion
absolute
industry.
stupid.
$1 billion industry. Like somebody commented, they were like, "Oh, thanks, Bengals," because that's probably the one stadium that doesn't have it because they're just frugal as hell.
It don't make any sense. If you have it, use it. It's just fucking that simple.
Going back to that,
thank goodness they called Addison in because he was, you know.
Yeah. Going back to that Bears game, there's one more thing I want to talk about was when the Vikings kicked that after they kicked that field goal to go up, they kicked, the Bears got that long kick return to like back to the 40 or something.
The only time we don't kick it out of the end zone.
Yeah, why did we not boot that out of the
I was
end
like,
zone?
it's funny. I was distracted and I didn't see the kick. So I was like, what? We didn't kick it out of the back of the end zone? Was it? It was going against the way we chose to go the other way on the overtime, right? Was there a wind? Maybe.
I don't know.
But the one time I want us to fucking kick it out, right?
Yeah, that was just weird. And obviously that led to great field position in the Bears, and Caleb did an excellent job of getting that game into overtime. Now
I could see, right? I could see if it was they needed to kick a field goal to win it, right? But they needed 11 fucking points.
Right.
So yeah, kick it out of the back of the end zone, let them start the 30.
Yeah.
Now, if they needed a field goal to take a lead or win, yeah, I get it. You're trying to pin them back deeper so they don't get an easy field goal.
Right.
But yeah, it's a different story. They needed 11 points.
Yeah, that was wild. Just that.
There was a game in the 80s where we're winning like by 10 points or something like that. And we lost to the Bears because they kicked and recovered 2 onside kicks in a row. Never freaking seen that ever again.
Yeah, that was the first successful onside so far this year.
Yeah, of course.
The Bears against us. Yeah,
of course.
It
was.
You heard they call that a watermelon ball when you put it on its side like that and you just kick it and get it spinning.
Oh, yeah. There's that. What was that high school coach that ended up doing it in college too, where he onside kicked everything? It was if you ever YouTube search the coach that never kicks. And there's a whole documentary of him in high school, and he won the state championship, not kicking. I mean, if he's on his 1 yard line, he does not punt. It might be 4th and 25.
Yeah,
he does not punt at all.
Interesting.
He won the state championship doing it.
Let's review our pick 6 from last week against the Bears.
All right, and we'll make some more comments. So Justin Jefferson. We took the over. We were like, no way. They're going to hold this guy back.
Yeah, but our guest was all over that, remember? NFL Outdated said, I wouldn't be surprised if Jordan Addison has more yards than Justin Jefferson because that's the way that the Bears play defense.
Isn't that crazy? How right he was?
He was right on that. And I tweeted at him. I was like, dude, you were all over this. The Bears shadowed Justin Jefferson with Jalen Johnson. And so you have a lot of casuals online saying that Jalen shut down Jefferson.
Yeah, and people started, is this him?
So, exactly. So Jalen pressed on Jefferson pretty much whenever he had the opportunity to, and he was slowing up his release. They're doing a great job there. And then as soon as he did release, he either had a safety over top or he had a linebacker on the inside. So there was always like 3 eyes on Justin. Yeah, and that's crazy. Why TJ Hawkinson and Jordan Addison were wide ass open.
They did do a good job. There was one play early on in the game where he did a 15, 20-yard dig, and the underlying defensive back stepped in front of it. Like they knew it was coming.
Oh, yeah. That was Kyler Gordon. Kyler Gordon's a great player. Great nickelback corner. Very feisty.
Like they scouted us pretty good on that.
Reminds me of Antoine Winfield, the way that Kyler Gordon sticks his nose into everything. Feisty player.
Speaking of which, I have Murphy, man. I'm liking him again, man. I'm liking him.
Yeah,
we might have to extend him.
Yeah, it kind of depends on the dollar amount for me.
Yeah, true. Of course. Yeah.
What would you feel comfortable paying him? Like 15
a year?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what he's gonna demand.
Yeah, see ya.
We can pull up some over the cap and take a look at what he's probably gonna get.
Well, he is still in his prime, right? Yeah, I'll have to take. We'll take a look at that.
Corners.
So the next one was Aaron Jones. Oh shit, that's the wrong one. Oh no, we both said over.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, we both said over. This is the one you had right. Yeah, just great game. Great, solid game. Best game of the year probably for him, except for the fumble.
Oh,
that killed me.
That hurt, man, because he's on our fantasy teams, and
Mine too, yeah.
he marched that whole first drive is all Aaron Jones, just long run that he popped on the Bears,
And then we do a soft play like shotgun on 2nd and 1.
Yeah,
At the goal line.
I don't get it.
I just what fucking get behind a fullback. Do some. I don't care. Just do some trickery.
They did do that though. As the game went on, CJ Ham became a huge part of that game. I think that we'll see that going forward.
Do it there. That spot. You know, it's like crazy. Give it to him twice.
Yep. Kudos to Mr. Simone Biles. He made a great play.
Oh, Simone Biles. Okay, I got it now.
That was Jonathan Owens, who that's her husband, who made that play.
What position does he play?
He's a safety.
The safety? Okay, because she's a small girl. I just can imagine her being with the D tackle.
There's a documentary on Netflix about Simone Biles and her time at the Olympics in Paris when she got the gold, and Jonathan Owens was in that documentary. I'd watch it if you have time.
Jordan Addison. You had no faith in him, even though Outdated told us. I listened.
Yeah,
I just thought it was a small number.
Yeah. Remember, I thought this was going to be a total slog of a game. I thought the defenses were going to dominate. I thought Caleb Williams was going to look bad and flustered, and that didn't happen. I thought Sam Darnold was probably going to throw a pick or two. That didn't happen. So, I mean, there was a lot of yards put up in this game.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like 430 or something like that.
Yep.
What was it? Let me look. Team stats. 452 to 398.
Yeah, dude. Both teams almost got to 400. I mean, it's just a lot of yards.
Plays. 65 plays, so there's 73.
Yeah.
Felt like a lot more than that, but we're just kind of a big play team. TJ Hawkinson. You went under.
He crushed the over, didn't he?
Yeah. It was late though.
Oh, okay.
He was sitting there at like 32 yards, and I was like, and it was all late, like, you know, and he was the guy at the end.
Yeah, he caught like a 20-yard pass to close it out.
Yeah, it was a sweet throw.
Yeah, it was. He was wide ass open. Good play design.
Okay. I might have been thinking about the Jordan Addison catch towards the end where it was just over the top. Yeah,
again, I was thinking here that the Bears linebackers were big, fast, tough matchup for him. I did not know that the Bears were going to sell their soul to stop Justin Jefferson.
It was crazy.
Things up like they did for TJ Hawkinson to Jordan Addison.
I felt
they took
so
advantage.
Bad for that guy going on, I don't know, it was TikTok or YouTube and did this. You know, he's just bashing, you know, like how much he shut down Jefferson based off his quote of saying, hey, you know, they're gonna, you know, shut me down, everybody else is gonna eat. And it fucking did. It was crazy. Yeah, so you said under, I said over. Then Caleb Williams, this wasn't the exact yards, I kind of screwed it up, but he went over and you chose under. He had 340 yards.
Crazy. It's a lot of yards.
Yeah. And Sam Darnold. I said the under, even though I picked everything else to go over, so we were both wrong on this one.
Yeah.
I probably should have went over on this one.
Sammy ended up with 330. That's a crazy number against that Bears defense in Chicago.
I think I didn't want to be completely wrong or completely all wrong if something happened. So I chose the under on this one.
Yeah.
Mathematically, it still could have happened, but that was that game. You know, defensively, Harrison Smith, man, still fighting father time, man. Seemed like he was always in on the action. 9 solo tackles, 11 total. Byron Murphy, I think, had one of his best tackling games. He had 2 tackles for losses. And that's been a big complaint for me about him was, you know, getting up there and getting people down.
Yeah.
He was bouncing off people early in the season. He looked small.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think he's probably had to have worked on it because he's bringing people down now.
There was way too much yards after catch on screens and things like that in this game. Defense has to shore that up for sure. They were excellent against the run, like they have been all year long. But there's just too much easy stuff that a lot of completions within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage that went for big gains because of poor tackling. Some of that might be the field
I think our
conditions too.
defense. I think our run defense is legit. I just watched a show earlier, and two guys were talking about how it's just because of other teams have to pass against us. I'm like, not really. Game's been close lately, and we're still shutting people down.
Yeah, I mean they've been excellent against the run. It's a big sample size now.
Well, and look, I mean, DeAndre Swift, 13 for 30, and we talked about him being a big threat in this game for us. That's it. Rashawn Johnson, 2 for 2 yards. And then you got Caleb Williams that scrambled a little bit, and then DJ Moore got a run.
Yeah, I thought that the Bears offensive line actually did a very good job blocking up our pressure. I didn't feel like we had some pressure on Caleb, but Caleb did an excellent job of getting out of that pressure and scrambling throughout most of the day. I mean, I feel like we probably should have spied him a little bit more.
I think that, what happened was Ivan Pace Jr. got hurt.
Yeah, and then you had Van Ginkel trying to spy, and he's just not quick enough, I don't think.
So
Caleb's
losing our what normally I think is our spy when we do spy is Ivan Pace Jr., and when he got hurt, that wasn't going to happen. What's his situation? I saw he did the splits, man. It didn't look good.
Yeah. Looks like a hamstring strain, so usually those are about 4 weeks.
Okay. It would be nice to have him. I don't think he's the biggest loss as, let's say, like we lost Cashman for a while.
Right. Like, he really offers blitzing. He's really, really good at blitzing, blowing up the running
blows
back.
Up some runs.
Yeah.
People just miss him. He's just miss blocking him. But I thought Grenard and Van Ginkel still played solid games. I felt like they got some pressure in there. I know I think there was a one miss sack that could have happened that ended up kind of hurting us. But I think Grenard had like 2. He had 4 tackle for losses, 2 sacks.
Yeah. I thought that
solid.
In general, this defense had to do a better job of rushing as a team, keeping him in the pocket. They let him escape way too much. And now transitioning to the Cardinals this week, which we're going to talk about here shortly, Kyler Murray is the same thing. You got to keep this guy in the pocket. If you let him escape, especially to his right, he's going to hurt you.
That's where he hurt us.
Yep. So there was a play where we brought a 0 blitz, and Harrison Smith came from the left side and let Caleb go around him, and that's when he hurt us on that play as well. So you got to keep him in. Rush under control.
Johnny Munt showed some rust. Yeah,
he had a terrible game. It was his birthday like the day before too.
Well, they didn't cut him on his birthday. They decided to cut Nick Muse on his.
Yeah, it's okay. Nick's on the practice squad. He's doing okay.
Is he? Did they put him back there?
I'm pretty sure they're trying to get him on the practice squad. I didn't see anything yet, but he'll be back.
Did a fucking video about us, so that's not a smart move, dude.
It was just all fun. He wasn't pissed or anything. He's just.
I know he was. He's not that kind of guy, but I don't know if it's the smartest thing to do in the world. Is
say,
I feel like 2 brothers getting cut on their birthdays. I guess his brother got cut on his birthday too. Apparently.
Kwesi and KOC are lighthearted personalities. They're not going to get pissed about that.
Well, I forgot who it was. Kind of felt like he burned a bridge, but came back. I forget who it was.
Oh, it was some Everson Griffin said Kirk Cousins' ass.
Because we brought him back the first year. Okay, no, he wasn't here with Kwesi though, right?
No.
Okay, but yeah, that was before. Yeah, it's like, no, man, I'm sorry.
They brought him back. Should we jump into the Cardinals and break down this game?
Yeah.
All right, so let's look at. So first of all, we have the 6-5 Cardinals coming in to play the 9-2 Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings haven't been home in a month. It's been a very long time since the Vikings have played at US Bank Stadium. This game, the Vikings are favored by 3.5 points with an over-under of 44. So not a crazy big over-under there, honestly. Looking at their matchups on offense, the Vikings rank 9th in total yards, whereas the Cardinals rank 15th. In passing yards, the Vikings ranked 11th, whereas the Cardinals ranked 23rd. So they're not a team that likes to push it through the air much. Rushing yards, the Cardinals are 6th, whereas the Vikings are 15th. So it kind of matches up well for the Vikings being at home, being such a good run-stopping defense, and that's kind of what the Cardinals like to do. So it kind of sets us up well there. The Vikings are the 9th highest scoring team, scoring 24.9 points per game, whereas the Cardinals are 16th, scoring 22 points a game. Third down percentage.
That's why this team, sorry stopping in there.
That's
why this team reminds me a lot of 2019, but with more weapons.
Yeah, that's very fair, for sure. Third down percentage and offense, these two teams are right at 40%, both of them. The Vikings are 12th, the Cardinals are 41, so not bad. Looking at the defense, the Vikings ranked 12th in total yards, giving up 341 total yards, whereas the Cardinals are 17th, so kind of middle of the pack there. Passing yardage defense, the Cardinals are 21st, and a lot of that deals with their inability to get pressure on the quarterback, one of the lowest pressuring teams. The Vikings are actually rated 28th against the pass, but I think we've talked about it. It's a little bit artificial because people can't run on you. It's like back in the Williams-Wall days.
Flores likes to give up yards, man.
Yeah. Rushing defense, the Vikings are still number 1 at 74 yards per game. The Cardinals are giving up 121 per game, which is 17th. Points scoring defense, the Vikings are 5th with 17.9. And the Cardinals are 11th with 21 points per game. So honestly, when you look at this Cardinals defense, and then finally the third down percentage defense, this is actually one that stands out. Cardinals are 31st, giving up 50% rate on third down defense. Absolutely bad. Terrible.
I imagine we're pretty good on third downs, aren't we?
We're 34.5%, which is tied for 8th. So
yeah,
pretty good.
Pretty good.
So when you look at the defense, the Cardinals defense actually doesn't give up a ton of points, 21.5 points. But you look at the talent they have on defense, you can only name like Budda Baker, LJ Collier is their leading sack artist. But I just cannot name very many guys on their defense, but they're playing well as a group. They're well coached by Jonathan Gannon. But it just this game, just the Vikings being at home for the first time in a while, and like just the Vikings' strengths, I think match up really well against the Cardinals' strength. So we'll get to our picks later.
Be hyped.
Yeah, they're going to be ready, excited.
I mean, we're coming off road. We're 9-2.
Really, my only concern is contain Kyler from scrambling, but he hasn't been scrambling that much this year. I think he only scrambles like 3 to 4 times a game so far this year.
Is he still throwing up effort balls a lot?
Honestly, I haven't watched all the Cardinals this year. The only couple games I've watched actually was when they blew out the Bears. And then I think they blew out the Rams at home as well. This is a team that for whatever reason, they can get really hot in the desert when they play at home. But I'm not so sure they play well on the road because I just saw them get beat at Seattle. They had a really poor showing at Seattle. Tough place to play, but Seattle.
Is there a recent Call of Duty release at all? Or
haven't heard about anything.
No, I got to check on that.
Yeah, so I mean, let's start with the Vikings offense and talk about these matchups. First of all, I think that although Justin Jefferson is just a true pro, superstar, loves to win, wants to win, we didn't hear him bitching about the 2 catches for 20 whatever yards it was.
Yeah, he's been a pro, man.
You know that he was a little upset, though, like anybody would be. He wants to be a bigger part of the win. This is a game, and then Wes Phillips actually came out this week and said that they need to scheme a little bit more to get him the ball in his hands. This is a game where I can see Justin Jefferson touching the ball like 12 times.
They're gonna have a Justin ratio.
They're gonna pepper him. Yeah,
we're gonna have a Jets ratio.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason I took the over on him. Is number one, that guy usually lives in the over, but number 2, that I think that the team is going to concentrate on getting him involved early and often.
Have you seen him motion a lot? I want to say I have. I feel like they have been moving it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know don't know the stats on it, but I feel like we've done that.
He's usually the guy in motion, I would say.
Yeah. kind of weird that, can't get him. And, are we really doing it short? Everything is deep. Is it a
That's
20-yard
100%
dig
true.
route? And
Yep. You watch the Lions with Amon-Ra St. Brown. Sometimes they just motion him into the slot and they throw him a little screen, little tunnel
shit, yeah.
screen,
Well, that's
get
him,
5-6 yards, feed him, like keep the change moving. That short stuff. And that DJ Moore accumulated over 100 yards last week playing us. And a lot of that was catching the ball either behind the line of scrimmage or like 5 yards away. Just a
Yeah,
bunch
no,
of yak.
we talked about that as like, not always having to throw it deep and stuff. And I was just having a school state of mind. I had a call. We talked today, and I'm like, he was like, people are complaining about like with Kirk being out, oh, check down, and then they're mad at Sam Darnold for always throwing it deep. It's like, well, you got to have the happy medium, and you got to throw it short a few times just to get those chains moving, to get that momentum to eat that clock. And I think we've done a better job of that. Like early in the year, we weren't winning the time possession because we're getting all these chunk plays.
Yeah.
But now I think we're a little bit better at it. But that's where Justin could be eaten.
Yeah. Now, the Vikings
Crossing
want
route.
to be explosive.
Mesh.
Like that's what the Vikings want to do, but I do feel like there's a realm where they can exist in both. You know what I mean? Like not everything has to be a deep crossing route like you're talking about. Addison, moving on to Addison, he's had a hot hand recently. He absolutely blew up in Chicago, and we've been begging Sam Darnold to look at him more. There's actually another play in Chicago where he's wide ass open for a touchdown. Did you see that one?
I didn't see. I know the play people were talking about, but I didn't see him open, so I didn't see the play.
They're down in the red zone. I think they're like on the 10-yard line. They end up throwing it to a tight end. Maybe it was Munt on like a crossing route, shallow, and he got down to like the 1-yard line. I think that was the play right before Aaron Jones
I think that's
fumbled.
Yeah, when people started bitching about how Addison was open. I remember that.
So Addison runs like this dig, like this little zig route or something where he does like an in cut and then he pivots and he goes back towards the sideline and like nobody follows him. And the problem is that that's the backside of the play, right? Darnold's progression took him to the tight end. No, he's open. I'm going to pop this. And it was a good play. He damn near scored, right? But it's just funny that free three, right? He's always open.
Yeah.
I think it's easy to forget, especially if you're not a Vikings fan because you don't watch a lot of games, but it's easy to forget that Jordan Addison is a damn good receiver that could be a number one receiver for a lot of teams, and Justin Jefferson kind of overshadows him. So just forget about his talent.
There was a play, I forget what team it was against, but I remember it being in the, always on video of Thielen telling his cornerback, "You got to check that on tape." He did this move, and that was the move Justin Jefferson did on Gilmore, and scored that touchdown. I mean, you could have that for Addison on the backside.
Mm-hmm.
If you see him one-on-one, have him do that, route, or at least, hey, you think to yourself, hey, look what happened on this play. If this happens, you see this look, that's where you should go with the ball. That could be something to, that could change the progression.
Transitioning now to TJ Hawkinson. I can't really name the linebackers for the Cardinals. I just don't have a lot of star talent on that defense. I think that TJ is going to have his plays where he's in the seam, he's open, he's going to accumulate some more yards. Like he can have another 70 to 100 yard game this week. If
it's insane to have this many good receivers, pass catchers.
Yeah, Matthew Collar says all the time that TJ Hawkinson shouldn't even be classified as a tight end. He's like wide receiver 2 or wide receiver 3. Like he's running wide receiver routes.
It's like, I mean, and it looks like who looks like they've been hit by a truck after every play more than him.
Yeah,
he's like purple.
Yeah,
when he gets hit.
Yeah, he's this big ass, like tall, lean target, right? It just gets hit so much. You're right.
It looks like he's lost. He's got a wind knocked out of him on every freaking play, and his face turns purple.
I'm so glad we got that guy. He's fun to watch. He's a great tight end.
And he still hasn't beat the Lions yet. That's got to happen.
We'll get him. And then finally, Aaron Jones. Again, this defense that they're about to play is 17th, giving up 121 rushing yards per game. The Vikings are showing me something against the Bears. Now, I know the Bears defense isn't the best in regards to their run defense this year. They're a little leaky there. But when the Vikings brought out CJ Ham and started running downhill, and we saw some holes that we typically don't see in this running game, right? Like when we were watching the Packers game, unfortunately, against the Dolphins, there's a lot of instances where I'm like, man, it'd be nice to have some holes like that. We just
I made
don't
a
see
comment in our pregame last week about, hey, we haven't had too many runs over 20. He could get a big one here early. And yeah, he got one. What, 30, 40 some yards, I think?
Yeah, man, if you give him a lane, Aaron Jones, you give him a lane, he can sneak through it and score a big one. But
I was going to text you the over.
Yeah.
But they fumbled, so I was like, fuck.
Yeah. But hey, Aaron Jones stayed healthy in that game. That's great. He didn't bounce under the blue tent at all.
I felt like I was not worried about him the whole game, which is why I'm going over this week.
Yeah, we're both going over. We took over on basically every skilled position guy. I had both of us, so we expect a big day on the offense. It's been a long time since they've been at US Bank. The crowd's going to be juiced up. I don't think this Cardinals defense is anything to write home about, although they've played like decent as a team. I just think that with lack of star power and the star power that we do have, sometimes it's about Jimmy's and Joe's. Yeah, I think that the Vikings, not to spoil it too much, but I do think the Vikings are going to score a lot of points this game.
We got injury. Josh Oliver's out. Jay Ward is out. Cam Robinson is questionable. What do you know about him? Full practice on Friday.
Yeah, he was full. He's going to go.
That's good news.
It says foot injury. I haven't seen anything. Not sure what it is. Thinking of foot injuries that don't keep you out at least 1 week, it's probably just a contusion, if I had to guess, but it's like a reoccurring thing. So maybe a bone bruise that keeps coming back. And honestly, the only thing that really helps with that is rest. So they'll probably keep his activity pretty light. I wouldn't even be surprised, honestly, if he bounces out of the game again. If he has play where he just has to come out and Quessenberry comes in at some point. This might just be something.
Speaking of rest, Harrison Smith and Stephon Gilmore again. I think it's in their contract that they don't have to practice on Fridays.
It's smart, dude. It's really smart.
I know.
Yeah. I mean,
I know.
Brian, they were talking about trying to cut Harrison Smith's snaps coming into this year. And remember, Brian Flores was like, yeah, I just feel better when he's out there. You know what I mean? They have not cut that dude snaps.
I don't want to tell us starting.
Theo Jackson could absolutely be back. That he could be in there and spell him if they wanted to, but they're not taking Harrison out. By the way, on that sweet ass Caleb Williams throw where he's rolling to his right and threw it up to the running back with Swift. If that was 2017 Harrison Smith, Swift is dead.
Yeah, he'd be dead.
Like when he used to just hit somebody and take their soul and didn't care about the fine. Oh man.
Yeah.
But now
what was our safety that said make
Andrew Sendejo
make
make
football violent again.
Yeah, dude. That guy went around and he would have been a great Lions player the way that he tackled dudes.
How about another shitty tackle on Caleb Williams?
Yeah, when I saw that live, I didn't think it was too bad. I was like, Caleb, you got to get out of bounds, bro. And then you see it kind of slow down, and it's like he kind of puts his forearm into the knee, and Caleb's like, that was even Caleb after the game was like, that was a weird ass tackle.
I mean, to me, it was. Why can't you wrap a fucking guy up?
I get it. So Caleb's pretty fast, right? He's nimble. He's faster than he looks. Obviously, we just saw that last week, and it looked like Caleb was going to do one of those things where you kind of slow up and let the guy pass in front of you. Yeah. So it looked like the guy was committing to tackling, and then looked like he was going to be like, oh shit, I'm going to miss him, and but when it slowed down, it looked kind of dirty. It looked like he was legit going at his knees.
Lions
gonna lion, bro. Also, and then Caleb came in the next play and threw an absolute dime down the middle of the field for a touchdown. That was pretty crazy.
Kyle Brandt from NFL Good Morning NFL or something like that. It's a Lions fan, and he's like,
No, he's a Bears fan.
Oh, he's a Bears fan.
He's a Bears fan.
Why was he wearing Lions shit?
Because he was just doing it for the segment, and a lot of Bears fans were really pissed off about it, calling him a sellout.
I would be too.
Yeah, I get it. That's his job. Like, I get it. He gets paid a lot of money to do that shit. But yes, we would be bitching about it if he was a Vikings fan and did that for the Packers. We would be bitching about it. Yes.
If that girl who's a Minnesota fan decided I'm going to put Packers shit on, I'm going to be like, yeah, that's a no. Like, right. No, we don't like the Lions because they're dirty as fuck. I don't. Maybe I would have cared about them, but no, they've been dirty as F for 2 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still hate the Packers worse, but even that's the one thing all three of us non-Lions teams can agree upon is that the Lions are dirty.
Yeah. That Anzalone linebacker has always been kind of a dirty player. And then Kirby Joseph obviously took out TJ Hawkinson.
That was crown of the helmet on purpose bullshit.
It sucks because I like Branch a lot. I really liked him in the pre-draft process. I think that he is a very good player. That helmet to helmet was a bad, obviously penalized hit. But then it's like the way he acted after it turned me off. You know, he's giving double birds to the fans and whatnot. And listen, the Lions as a team, and I think this all kind of started with Amon-Ra, was like, we're going to take this to the next level as players. We don't like the Packers. We don't like the Packers fans. Like, they hate those. I feel like they don't do that to our fan base, right? Like, they did not come to Minnesota and give double birds to the fans. No. It was different, but they don't like the Packers.
And we used to play against Dominican Sue, you know, so it's like,
oh yeah, another dirty player.
Pretty fucking dirty.
Oh yeah. That guy used to just take absolute shots at Jay Cutler at the bottom of the pile. I remember that. So, I mean, anything else you wanted to touch on? I guess we haven't talked about Sam Darnold, but indirectly we said that this team's going to put up – I've said that this team's going to put up what I suspect to be a ton of yards. So I think Sam's going to do well. I don't think this defense for the Cardinals is a very opportunistic defense that is going to, ball hawk and take the ball away a ton. But, hey, we didn't think that against the Jaguars either. But being at US Bank Stadium, hopefully Sam has a great game, limits the turnovers. He did throw one right through the gut of a Colt the last time we saw him at US Bank Stadium. Hopefully he got that all out of his system, and let's make it 3 great games in a row.
Yeah, I mean, even like, was it JJ McCarthy threw 3 picks against Ball State, right? It's like, yeah, it happens, you feel like you invincible. I don't know what he was thinking in that game, but you gotta the fact that he is rebounded and what he played like before the Jets game, I'm fine with him. This whole I'm just waiting for next year when we got JJ McCarthy. I'm just waiting for next year. This team can win now. Yeah. Now it would help if we won the division a lot, but we obviously just proved we can win on the road in tough places. And it's obviously Sam Darnold can lead us in several occasions with last minute clinching drives. He's done that at least 4 times this year, I think.
Yep.
Where he's put it out of the reach, or he's won the game, like this last one. He's done everything, that you just got to get hot at the right time. He's getting hot later in the season. He's got that 3 bad stretch game out of the way. I don't see him, he's not infallible, but I put him in the top 10 of the quarterbacks in this league right now.
Yeah, he's playing like it.
I've said this 1,000 times, and it's a David Shelsky original. You don't have to be an all-time great to play great.
Yeah, that's a good point. Since we haven't brought it up yet, I want to bring it up, but Daniel Jones has signed to the Vikings practice squad, and I really like this move for Daniel Jones to see what it's like to be a part of a competent franchise with a quarterback driven coach who knows how to groom quarterbacks, knows how to instruct a quarterback room, work with a guy like Josh McCown in the quarterback room. I think that's going to be great for Daniel. And then the way that I see this playing out is I think he's going to be the backup, backing up JJ McCarthy in 2025. And that's totally fine with me.
So I can see where you're coming from with that because of his situation. Like Sam Darnold's going to earn a contract. I know O'Connell would probably think of a good idea to bring back his guy if he's been successful with them. Kwesi probably has different plans. So we'll figure that out. He'll have this line in the sand that he doesn't want to do. It wouldn't be a horrible idea to franchise him 1 year just in case JJ. It depends on JJ McCarthy's injury, right?
I think he might be a tag and trade candidate.
That too. And then, but the fact that Jones is not going to get starting money out there, I don't think.
I don't think so.
He's going to be a competition guy.
Yeah.
I would say, hey, I'm backing up a guy that just had a meniscus tear, missed his rookie year.
Yeah.
I see an opportunity here.
Yeah.
I could see him staying here.
Yeah, you spend the rest of the year learning the offense. You spend the off season probably learning the offense. You come in OTAs with being the backup, but knowing that you're one play away from having a position where you're starting for the Minnesota Vikings, and this is
you're already getting fucking paid.
Yeah, he has already made his money. So his job is to how do I be a starter in a good situation in this league once again, and that's the way to go about it, honestly. So I love the move for both parties. It didn't cost the Vikings anything. So we'll see how it all shakes out.
Do you feel he takes over the backup at some point by the end of the year?
I don't. I
don't either.
I don't.
I'm glad we agree on that.
I think that it's going to take a lot more than 4 to 6 weeks to really get a good enough grasp to feel comfortable
just
with him.
Just because Mullins is so proficient in the offense.
He knows the system so well. Now, let me ask you this, though, because I was thinking about this. Do you see him becoming a part of this team where they may use him as a gadget guy in the red zone? Quarterback power, maybe trick play or something with his legs.
And then we all bitch about how we're getting too cute with the ball in the red zone. I can see that happening.
He's a good runner. I mean, he's a good runner.
Yeah, he is. He's a strong dude.
Mm-hmm.
That was my biggest worry about him when we played the Giants, was that he would get out of the pocket.
So let's move on then to the defense. Vikings defense against the Cardinals. There's 3 guys, excluding Kyler Murray, that we need to worry about. Number 1, James Conner. They pretty much run their entire offense through James Conner. It's a lot of zone read. He gets a lot of very efficient runner. He's like a 4 yards in a cloud of dust type of runner. Doesn't usually break it, but he's very good catching out of the backfield as well. Very good in the screen game. James Conner's had a very good season so far. Again, this kind of lines up with the strength of the Vikings defense, stopping the run. So then you look at their tight end, Trey McBride. He's actually been their leading receiving threat, not Marvin Harrison Jr., although Marvin Harrison Jr. has made the occasional big play here and there and actually has quite a few touchdowns on the year. He's been really good in the touchdown department. But Trey McBride is actually the guy that we're going to have to watch out for across the middle. And the middle of our defense has been weak at times. So I do expect to see some balls given up in the middle zones of the Vikings defense, but I also expect Cam Bynum or Josh Metellus to pick one off going across the middle at some point during this game.
Yeah, it's that middle. We just give up yards there. I don't get it. It's like with Tampa 2 and stuff like that, you usually have a dropping linebacker, right? And that's not a problem, Maybe deep, it's a problem, but it's just like, it's like let them catch it in front of you stuff. Then we've had that strategy of blitzing on first and second down and then dropping back and giving them, so many yards, and then they don't get the first, they got a punt. We've done that. We've been very good about, the other team having penalties. and being, the late in the game, or sacks or, tackles for losses. We've had people behind the chains a lot. And so we did drop back on third down and let people get, yards. It hasn't been a lot lately, I don't think, where we've given up a really long third down. I know we did it earlier in the season and it kind of pissed us off, but it's not the same problems we had the last 2 years. It's not as big a problem, I don't think. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I would agree with you. I think that the Vikings' defensive philosophy is we're going to try to pressure you, and we know that we're leaving the zone open. If we can't get to you, kudos, it's here for you. You can have it. But they're playing the law of averages where they are going to get a sack. And like when they get that sack, it's a drive killer, right? So they play what they play, and we're going to send pressure. We're going to try to get you. And I'm totally okay with that. But when you send pressure, it does open up zones in the back of the defense, and you're just going to have to live with those.
I mean, Cardinals lost 16-6 last week against the Seahawks on the road.
I was just pulling that up. So Kyler Murray went 24 of 37. So he threw the ball 37 times on the road in bad weather. Sacked 5 times. He only had 2 rushes.
They had 49 yards rushing.
Wow. So this could be the type of game that we see them play again against a good rushing defense. Now look at this. Receiving, Trey McBride had 12 catches for 133 yards.
Yeah.
Next leading receiver, Michael Wilson, 2 for 54. Marvin Harrison Jr., 3 for 47. James Conner, 5 catches, 41 yards. They like to throw to James Conner. So, again, this is the game that we want them to get in. We want Kyler Murray throwing the ball 40 times a game. We want to shut down that running game. We want to shut down their screen game. Make them beat you with the tight end, right? It's going to be hard to beat you with the tight end. Let's look at the week before that. They were on bye before that. Then they beat the Jets 31-6 at home. That's what I'm saying. Like they've taken care of the Bears. They've taken care of the Jets at home and beat them.
Well, that's after they fired their coach, right? Their defensive coach or their head coach, and
29-9. But
like their defense just fell off a map when they lost their head coach.
And they squeaked by the Dolphins at home 28-27. So the Cardinals have been a good team. Last week against the Seahawks on the road, they did not look like a good team. We'll see if the Vikings can follow that and beat up on them again on the road here. Well, should we pick the game?
What's that?
Oh, yeah, let's do our pick 6 before we pick the game.
All right. This is Justin Jefferson this week.
Yeah, we talked about this. I think that Justin's going over. I think that this is going to be a game where the Vikings brass tries to pepper him with targets and get the football in his hands early and often. He might hit this by halftime.
Yeah, I'm going over, and I felt the same way. I thought this more so than last week just because of where we're playing. That I feel like he's going to be, and I feel like he bounces back from rough games. So yeah, I think he gets 90 plus. Now we go Aaron Jones.
Yeah, we both like the over here. He's just been, he had a great game last week against Chicago. I think Dalton Reisner is getting loose now at right guard, getting some snaps under his belt. He had some great run block reps last week against Chicago.
Did he?
Yep. So I liked Aaron Jones to go over. I think he's going to be close to 90, 100 yards this game.
Yeah, I think it's a good game for Aaron Jones, and I think we feed him early and often. And honestly, the other running backs aren't getting the ball, so I did not expect him to be lead back all year. Where he's getting 80% of the carries. I just wasn't expecting that.
I agree.
But hey, this is probably the healthiest he's been for as long as he has. Knock on press particle board.
Yeah.
Jordan Addison coming off a huge game.
Yeah, we both went over here as well. I just think the guy's always open, so
Kills the
it
NFC.
only takes 3-4 catches to get to 50, especially if he's got a bomb, which they like to run him on those deep crossers.
It kills the NFC North. Yeah, it was just. I still can't get over me talking shit. I wasn't really talking shit about him, but I was like, yeah, I was wrong immediately. When I know I'm wrong, I'm going all out. I was wrong. We need to lock him down. Hopefully, he doesn't want to be at number 1 somewhere. I just think he's that good. It's Batman and Batman B, in my opinion. Justin Jefferson obviously can do a few more things than him. But as far as I would say, flat out catching the ball and running routes, I feel like they're pretty freaking equal. And put them in a foot race. I don't know. That's a tough one right there. One has a longer stride. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
different type of stride. But yeah, I got over. I just think he continues that, and like I said last week, it just could be one big catch, and He did. He had it. But Hawkinson, we were talking about how this guy looks like he got hit by a truck every time he catches the ball. Man, he's so good. I'm so happy he came back so healthy.
Yep.
And
Easy
he
over
was
for
smart
me.
on us. We're 9-2, and he didn't have to go through the war.
Yep.
He's the replacement troops after the Battle of the Bulge. It's him right there.
Would have been nice to have him for the Rams game.
Yeah, it would have been. Yeah.
You
Kyler
took the
Murray.
over on Kyler.
Did I?
I thought I took the over. On this one.
We can change that. I think I might have screwed up on this one. I don't think I changed it. I was gonna take the under.
Oh, so it's flip flops.
Yeah. So over for you. Under for me. All right.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
fixed it. Tell me why you think the under.
I just think we're gonna shut down the run. I think that we're gonna get up and score. Kind of the formula that has been the Vikings season this season. I actually saw the Vikings are leading the NFL with time leading so far this season. So I think they're gonna have to pass to catch up.
True. And I guess every time I pick the under, I've been like, this might be the indie game where we just shut down everything. I feel like this is a game where we could do that. A West Coast team coming to the Midwest, loud, a quarterback on occasion gets in his own head or gets in other people's heads, his own coach's heads.
I think he got banged up a little bit last week as well. He did finish the game, but he came out for a few plays.
And he's banged up. There you go.
Yeah.
So that's why I thought the under.
Yep.
And the big kahuna, I chose the over to be different. This could be one of those situations where we're taking over and we're running the ball at the end, but us. Might let them back in. This is me protecting my ass again. I picked over on everybody. I picked under on him last week, and he went over. And I was just doing it to hedge my bets last week, and I was wrong. So I'm going the over this week. It's the biggest number I think he's had, 259.5. My God, man, he's been playing so good. So I'm gonna go over on this.
Yeah, it's kind of this is a tough one for me because I picked all of his weapons to go over, but 260 is a pretty high number. And if I'm believing that Aaron Jones can get the 100 yards rushing, that's kind of putting a cap on how many yards he can throw. So I'm gonna try to dance with the devil here and just take the under. I need to pick different from you a little bit and catch up here because you're beating me.
I think I actually I think before this show started, I said, you know what, I'm gonna pick the over to be different.
Yeah,
because you picked first. But yeah, I just we couldn't pick them all the same again.
Yeah.
Oh, but we did. You know what? We did choose Kyler Murray different, so that's good.
Yeah,
So we got some separation there. And just to remind everybody at home, Dave took a commanding lead last week, going 4-2 to his 1-5. So good on me. Yay.
Yeah, I was
Yay,
just
Chelsea.
really surprised at how that Bears game turned out. I mean, two defenses through much of the year have been very good defenses, and
I had the whole game pegged until 9.5 minutes left.
offenses came out swinging, man.
Yeah, I had the whole game pegged until 9.5 minutes. I was like hitting everything.
Yep. Well, that wraps up this episode. So thanks for tuning in with us, guys.
Oh, we didn't pick our score.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Let's do that. So let's pick the game. Why don't you go
I don't
first?
know. What should I should go first?
Yeah.
30 to 17.
30 to 17.
This is the one.
It's funny because I was thinking
the one I'm gonna be right
there. So I was thinking in my head where this is a game where I see the Vikings exceeding 30 points. I just think that they're going to go off on this game. So I'm going to say 31 21.
31-21. 30-17. Pretty good picks.
Yep. Skull Vikes, man. Let's get to 10-2.
10-2, baby.
And then we have Detroit and Green Bay next Thursday, where unfortunately we're going to have to be rooting against the Lions. I mean, we just have to, right? Am I right?
I'll be satisfied with whatever outcome happens.
So
I will accept the results.
Let me say this.
That's how I put it. I will accept the results if the Lions were to win.
If the Vikings are going to win the Super Bowl this year, having that number 1 seed is going to help a lot. So if we can get the Lions to fall from grace a little bit here, and they do have a really tough schedule. They have the Vikings, the Packers, the Niners remaining. I think they got the Bears again at Chicago. So I mean, they could slip up. It could happen. The Vikings play, if they can get by the Cardinals this weekend, we have the Falcons coming to town. They don't have a defense at all. I think we match up really well with the Falcons.
Yeah, I said that earlier in the year. They just don't seem to have an identity. And
then we have huge games against the Packers and Lions. We got the Bears here again at home, but at that point, I'm kind of just.
Yeah, we'll have the Packers at home, right?
I'm kind of thinking the Bears will probably quit by then. We'll see, but the Bears are playing. I'm trying to think. They have a little mini bye, and then they have to go play at San Francisco. Very physical team. And then they come play us, I think, on the road.
Yeah, go figure. Was it who played the 49ers? Was it the Packers?
The Packers without Brock Purdy, dude.
Without Brock Purdy. They play the Rams without their 2 receivers. They play,
That's what I'm saying.
They have a fucking
every
Hail Mary
single
against
break.
the Bears. Luckiest team in the NFL this year.
Seriously. Yes. Always. Every year.
A muff punt by us brought them back, almost beat us. Only they never had the ball they never had the ball where they could have took the lead. So
yeah,
there's no almost beat us.
They Miami holds into a 3-and-out to start the game on Thanksgiving night, and then
muff punt.
That just changed the tone of the ball game right there.
And then they hold them at the goal line, where they could have went. They could have got at the 2-point conversion, been within 8 with 5 minutes to go. It's insane.
Yep.
Yeah, these fucking guys. Packers.
It's unreal.
Same
Packers. Thing every year, dude. Every year. Alrighty. Well, now we're going to wrap up the episode since we've both picked the Vikings to win and move on to 10-2. Enjoy the game, everybody. We'll catch you Tuesday night for our live breakdown of the game and a little bit of preview of the following week as well, and any questions that you bring to the show. Skol, everybody.
Skol Vikes.